Hey guys, welcome back to the Girlfriends and Goals podcast YouTube channel. My name is Samaria, and I'm joined by my best friend and co-host Miyosha. And today we are doing another Am I the A-hole reaction video. This one is around family issues. So if you're interested in that, give this video a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to our channel and meet us down in the comments to give us your thoughts about these scenarios. I'll jump into the first one. So this says, am I the a-hole for asking my son to bring my 6-week-old granddaughter to visit me without his fiance? All right, so this is just throwaway information. She says she's a 51-year-old female. Her son is 29, and he and his fiance, Jen, have a 6-week-old daughter named Lily. She also has a 7-year-old son that's not my son's child, but I still consider him my grandbaby. All right. Now to get into it. I used to get along really well with Jen and told everyone she was like a daughter to me. But when she got pregnant, she started acting weird toward me. Like I asked to be in the room for delivery, and she said a clipped no, despite letting her 7-year-old son's dad's mom in the room for his delivery. No big deal, it's her choice. But when I went to visit in the hospital afterwards, she acted really put off that I was there. I figured she was just tired and left after 20 minutes to give her space, but then it continued. I have stopped in to see everyone about 5 times since she had the baby, and every single time that I walk in, she gets really quiet. Whenever I'm holding the baby, she is hovering. She keeps snapping at me over small things, like how I'm holding the baby. I had her on her belly, on my arm, or sideways across my knees on her belly. Because she's crying, obviously she doesn't like that, so stop. Or snapping at me for things I say to the baby. Like when she starts fussing, I said, "You won't get your way with me. You can't play me like that," in a baby voice, trying to calm her. And she goes, "She's 4 weeks old. How exactly is she playing you?" Then she got livid and actually kicked me out of the house one time because she picked up the baby for making the smallest of noises. And I told her the baby was going to get used to being held all the time if she kept doing that. And she said, "Well, it's a good thing she's my child and I don't have to listen to your crying it out BS." Ooh. Well, I went there on Thanksgiving, and apparently it was her mother's first time meeting the baby. And of course, the baby was all smiles and loved her grandma. But when I got the chance to hold the baby, she immediately started screaming and was promptly taken from me. I feel very slighted. I asked my son if he would bring the baby to visit me without his fiance, because I feel like his fiance's attitude toward me is the reason why the baby screams every time I hold her. I definitely think she's picking up on the hostility. I don't know why she even dislikes me now, but asking her currently would be pointless. He told me he absolutely would not bring his daughter to my place without her mother because he wouldn't do that to his fiance, who has never been away from the baby thus far. I told him they were purposely ruining my chance at a relationship with my granddaughter, and he said that wasn't true and that I need to stop pushing my old-fashioned beliefs, which is the first time I've heard of this. Am I the a-hole for expecting him to bring my granddaughter to me without her mom so I can have a relationship with her?
You know, one thing grandparents go always do,
Play the victim.
act like they doing nothing. Oh, I ain't say too much. I ain't do too much. While they doing everything. That's one thing they always go do. Oh, I didn't even say anything, but could you do this, and do it like this?
I don't even know her, and I'm already like, I can understand, ma'am, why Jen don't want you around.
Where do I even start? Okay. Ma'am, yes, you are the a-hole given one. You're a mom yourself who's had children. To even suggest that he would bring a 6-week-old baby to you and her mother not be there?
The baby is very young, but also like because the baby is so young, whatever relationship you develop with them between now and one, between now and maybe even two, like you have years to establish a relationship, man. You know, 6 weeks is not the end of it.
And the mere act of him doing that could set things in motion, even put you in an even worse situation by doing something when the baby's this small. I mean, 6 weeks, that's still so little. Why would you even suggest that, knowing that you yourself were a mom? You've gone through postpartum. So when she was talking about the whole thing being at the hospital, she wanted to be in the room. And then she quoted, well, some business about the other little boy and their grandparent being in the room.
First of all, 7 years ago. So even if she did have the other man's mom in the room 7 years ago, based on depending on how that would have gone, that could be her reasoning for not wanting you in the room. So don't compare apples to oranges.
No, and who knows what their relationship was. And
Exactly.
for me, it seems it's like, okay, well, she got pregnant and all of a sudden she started acting different. Like, obviously, the pregnancy hormones, postpartum.
Mhm.
It seems like you're making all of this about you unnecessarily. Like, this woman just went through a big life change, going from one child to two children, giving birth.
Mhm.
And not everyone wants people around and all up in it, even if you are the grandparent at such a sensitive time. Okay, she's in not the best mood. You've given birth yourself, so you know the energy you're running off of. So it feels like you're looking for trouble.
Mm,
And you think that you're not doing a whole lot, but you're actually being probably very overbearing.
yeah. I think my favorite part was where the son told her, she's like, that was the first time I heard it, girl.
And you know what it
Yeah.
probably was? If I was to have a camera, as you would say, while she was pregnant, given that her firstborn is so much older. Now she's in this newish relationship, not new, but she's with her
The
son
new
now.
person. Yeah.
It's like, oh, well, I need to give you the tips and the tricks and this and that about pregnancy. She's already been on this rodeo. She's a grown woman. The
Yes.
overbearing energy probably started in pregnancy.
And this is one of my like worst fears, right? Is going through something like this and people just offering so much unsolicited advice. It's like, okay, you don't know, like it gives you no room as a new mom, as an expectant
Hmm.
mom for the first time. It gives you no room to add your own little seasoning into how you would want
Hmm.
to do things. And so she's probably been overbearing the entire pregnancy.
And it's too much. And now the mom who's recently postpartum is finally pushing back a bit and being like, no, like, we're not going to subscribe to
Yeah.
whatever your ideas are around letting babies cry it out and, oh, the baby's going to be spoiled. If my baby's spoiled, that's my business.
I do want to ask, do you feel like maybe there should have been a conversation before this point between the son and his mom?
Probably, but I don't know that it would have helped much, because in their heads, they're not doing anything, or they're doing what was done to them. So it's like you're the problem for
Yeah.
expecting them to act differently. But yeah, he could have. What did she say? Oh, I was shocked. Like, she didn't know that, that he would have felt that way.
I just wish, it seems like Jen was in a position where she had to say, we're not doing things the way that you want us to do it. And I don't know that she ever should have been in that position to have to say that. I think he should have had a conversation ahead of time, like, hey, we're deciding to do things a little differently. So maybe don't push so much, like, don't push so hard before it got to this point. That's just
And
my opinion and
I
expectation.
agree. In a perfect world, he would be able to have that conversation with his mom. She'd be open to it and receive it. But I can guarantee you that was going to cause him more problems on the front end. Oh, you're complaining about an issue that's not an issue yet. You haven't even given me the chance.
Okay, but then let it. Like it's causing problems now still. So for
Hmm.
me, it's like, okay, do you want it to cause problems now where at least Jen isn't put in those types of situations? Or do you want it to cause problems later?
Oh,
And so
yeah. It's because the mom is overbearing, it's going to be an issue on the front end or back end.
yeah,
It depends on how he handles conflict and if he's willing to have that conversation up front. In a perfect world, he would. So she wouldn't even have to be dealing with this. But for her to even suggest that because it also sets in motion, like, this is our normal dynamic for you to go spend time with grandma, but mom isn't there. It's like the baby's still so young. I don't think that that's
yeah.
necessary. I
I
don't
think
know.
it was, do you feel, this is
Mm.
a question for all the moms in the group chat of this YouTube channel. Do you think the hostility that Jen has towards her mother-in-law to be could be something that the baby is picking up on, and that's why she's crying? Like, I don't know the science behind it, but is that even a thing?
I don't think so. I
Okay,
think
I don't know.
babies kind of can sense energy themselves in
Yeah.
people. Yeah, I don't think they're like, oh, it's because the mom and da da da. No, I hate to say it. It could be something about the grandma and her like overbearing energy. Because I've observed kids when they've been around people who are like, give me a kiss and do this, and they kind of recoil, a bit if they're just not comfortable. And then I've seen them around 5 minutes later, they run to another person who like doesn't even pay them attention. So I think kids pick and choose. That's my opinion. I don't
The
know.
baby is 6 weeks old. This is not, you do not need private visits. I think you just need to adjust your attitude. Even if you don't feel like there's anything, like you don't have to ask Jen about everything or about anything. Now that your son has said that, just say, listen, I was not aware that this was how I was coming off. And
Mm-hmm.
I won't be doing that in the future. If you notice me doing that, please just let me know. I'm here to be an ally, not an enemy. Like she needs to have that conversation where she's being more humble
Yeah.
about
Yeah,
things.
because you're grandma in this situation, not mom or dad. So,
Directly. Yeah. So
y'all
yeah,
let
you
us
are the
know.
a-hole, Miss Ma'am.
All right. So, we're going to go to the next one. Am I the a hole for not letting my stepson come on holiday with us? Now, girl, from that title, I, 26-year-old female, and my partner, 26-year-old male, have 3 kids between us. I have 2 daughters, a 9-year-old female and a 7-year-old female, and he has a son, a 12-year-old male. My stepson used to stay with us at the weekends, but as he has to share a room with my daughters, he has decided he doesn't want to stay anymore, which is fair enough. He's getting older and wants his space, plus he is getting too old to share now. I don't have a problem with this at all. He needs to do what is best for him, and I'm not going to force him to come and stay at my house all the time when he doesn't want it, but he also doesn't spend any time here whatsoever. He wants to spend all of his time at his grandma's. Now, we all went away last year. He had his own room, and we had a relatively good time. I was planning on booking a holiday for the end of this year, but I told my partner I wasn't going to pay for stepson to come with us, as by the time we go, he would have spent 0 time with the family and probably wouldn't enjoy coming away with us for a week, as he doesn't enjoy being around my kids anymore, and he doesn't really like me. My partner threw a massive tantrum and said I was purposefully leaving him out of stuff just to be spiteful. But in reality, I'm the one who pays for everything, i.e., the holiday, clothes, food, activities, etc., when we are away. And I want to enjoy myself and let my kids enjoy it without stepson moaning about being there in the first place, which he will, and what he did the last time we went away. And I don't want to pay for someone who doesn't want to be here in the first place. Am I the a-hole? Should I just pay for him and get on with it?
You more than an a-hole, sis. This is a child. Have you not heard of preteens and teenage? Girl, get over yourself. You better pay for that baby's vacation and don't be bringing up money. Well, I pay for everything so your son can't come. Absolutely not. I don't know what you expected if you wanted this to be a happy family of 4 with your new spouse and his, and your 2 girls, and you just did not plan for, or yeah, it seems like she just didn't plan for having an additional family member who is going through the normal stages of life. No, a 12-year-old boy doesn't want to hang out with a 7-year-old girl and a 9-year-old girl. And the fact that you seem even like shocked by that, or, bothered by that, it says more about you. She needs to grow up. She
Yeah,
does.
what when she said, I don't have a problem with this at
Yes, you
all.
do.
He needs to do what is best for him.
Right.
A 12-year-old. See, right there, that's where you lost me because
Girl, what?
he's 12. Of course, he's not going to want to share a room because he's a preteen now.
And you shouldn't want him to. You have a daughter who's 7 and a daughter who's 9. You should not want this 12-year-old teenager almost in the same room with your girl. Like they're probably still playing with baby dolls. He's on to like, he probably looking at Megan the Stallion stuff. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like you really tried it. And, you know, you yourself are going to have teenagers soon. And how would you feel if, say, y'all don't work out and then he moves on and then your daughters aren't able to go spend time with their dad in his new wife or fiance's place? Okay, so he wouldn't have been around the family all year. Well, now he will on holiday.
Exactly. Like, why is that a big deal? Why is that a big deal? Oh, he hasn't spent time with the family. And honestly, I could understand why he don't spend time around y'all. If this is what he's getting.
Yeah, and that's the thing. As an adult, you have to realize kids are going to go through all different types of emotions.
Mhm.
There is a dynamic of you being the step parent, also you trying to navigate the parenting that's been happening while they're at home versus when he's with you. I think because he's 12 and your daughter is 9 and 7, that means he would have had to been at least 3.
Mm,
So he was very much here
yeah.
when you signed up for this, and now you're just at a testy phase.
Mhm.
Kids go through phases where they don't want to be around their parent. I think almost every teenager goes through that.
And that's
Well,
the
guess
thing.
where you're going to be around your parents.
Exactly. It sounds like she signed up for a life that she was not prepared for. And she knew that her girls were coming and they would be taken care of and they would be all right. And she selfishly did not consider this very young boy going through what young boys go through.
Hmm. Yeah, and the fiance, or is he fiance, or he's the partner?
Yeah.
I think you may have to stand your ground on
He
this
has
one
to.
because he went away with y'all last year.
Yeah.
And even, you know, kids, even though they may act like they don't want to be there, they would feel away if they were left out.
Especially in the future, right? Like, oh yeah, my dad always used to go on vacations and he replaced me with her kids, and I was never invited or whatever. I don't care if I have the worst attitude. One of my like closest friends talks about how she used to just like really mistreat her stepmom, and now as she's
Mm.
older, she's like, I was so terrible to her, but looking back, she's the only person that my dad ever dated that I actually liked and actually
Wow.
appreciated. And so now as an adult, she makes sure the woman knows how appreciated she is. She checks in with her, like gifts, all that stuff. So you just never know. Kids be kids. Like,
She's counting down the years until he's 18. That's all that is.
yes, and that's
Mhm.
unfair. Like, why would you do that to
And
somebody's child?
and if you feel a way about having to pay for everything, like I don't know what y'all's financial situation is and why it's all falling on you to pay for these holidays and all of that, but maybe that's a separate conversation around, I don't even know, but if you feel a way about paying for everything and that someone will be there and not appreciate it,
Yeah.
then maybe have a conversation around finances separately of him being there, because
Yeah.
it's almost like you're trying to use it as a reason to justify y'all
Hmm.
leaving this little boy out.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Absolutely not. Unacceptable. Not on my watch, as the young would say. All right, but you guys let us know in the comments how you feel about these two situations. These were both like pretty heavy, I
Mhm.
think. Let us know in the comments what you think, and we'll see you guys on the next video.
Bye.